Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
His wife heard noises in the backyard. Then he sees this. User all day every day was woken up at 2 a.m. after his wife heard strange noises coming from their backyard. So she sent her husband to check it out.
What is that noise?
He checks inside the attic but finds nobody there. He then hears another banging sound coming from the shed and goes to check it out.
Something is banging around and making noise in one of our sheds. I'm not really sure what to expect. I'm gonna go check it out.
He sees someone or something run out of the small shed and chases it towards the big shed. Then he sees something utterly terrifying.
I'll get quiet here for a second.
What looks like a person can be seen lurking at the top of the shed, waiting to ambush someone.
Unfortunately, I think this is all a show. Whenever he opens that attic access panel and climbs up and shows from left to right, he doesn't look behind him, which is clearly... I feel like this is all faked, but I will say this. Whatever mentality tends to lead people in the direction of grabbing their phone and investigating a strange noise instead of calling the police, I'm very appreciative that there's a lot of people out there like that, because that's how we get these videos. Fun watch, but likely fake.
He just arrived home when he sees this. User Kuroro Kamen was arriving home one night when he saw a strange hand on the sofa that moved in a bizarre manner. One of his windows was left open. However, he lives alone in his apartment, which is located on the 5th floor. Just whose hand is this? If you look closely, the little finger slithers like a snake. This incident alone made him clear his stuff out and move houses.
So, of course, my natural instinct is to just point out the fact that anybody could just crouch down behind that couch and put their hand over the arm of it and make it look like there's something creepy going on. The fact that this guy moved out, it could have already been planned that he was going to do that, and just thought that this would be a way to validate this creepy situation, is to show that he was moving out after it took place. But if the guy left his window open, it very well could have been an intruder. I don't know why they're trying to be creepy instead of trying to steal stuff, because that's what most intruders are doing. They're not worried about trying to creep you out. But yeah, like most stuff like this, it's hard for me to look at that and say, that makes sense. That would happen in real life.
Your favorite celebrity might just be a reptilian.
Pay very close attention to his men. That's not normal behavior. It's like he doesn't know how to be a human. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. That's... I don't know any human that can do that with the eyes. And then her, I don't know what her case is. If you can explain what's happening to that woman, please let me know in the comments. The facial movement and the eye movement is not. And this is really freaky because that's not regular distortion. It's like almost like her skin is changing. The cameras might be able to pick it up. Stay weird.
So that first guy, I think somebody's using like an Instagram filter or a TikTok filter or something to make his tongue spin around and his eyes look all weird and twitchy. That second lady, I remember whenever that first happened and was going viral all over the internet. I think she's just on some sort of drugs, and so she's spazzing out. And the third clip, it's just digital noise. It's just glitching. That's what most of these reptilian videos are, is just digital glitching.
The Biden administration says that air travel is more dangerous and will get more dangerous because, wait for it, climate change. Their favorite scapegoat for whatever they don't want you to be doing. The new problems with air safety are because climate change, they say, are contributing to more turbulence, and that's just going to get worse, folks. Watch Transportation Secretary try to make this claim over the weekend on Face the Nation.
The reality is the effects of climate change are already upon us in terms of our transportation. We've seen that in the form of everything from heat waves that shouldn't statistically even be possible, threatening to melt the cables of transit systems in the Pacific Northwest, to hurricane seasons becoming more and more extreme, and indications that turbulence is up by about 15%.
So is Boeing going to start blaming all their planes falling out of the sky on global warming? Yeah, I don't buy any of this. This is just more attempt at control. They're going to try to scare you into not getting on a plane. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I make a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
Always check your room when you wake up. It's 9:40 a.m. and a girl named Mildred had just woken up. But as she wakes up, she notices her dog is tucked in bed with her and shaking. Her dog normally doesn't ever get on her bed, so she knows something strange is going on with her dog. Her sister is asleep beside her and nobody else is in the room, so she decides to capture her dog's behavior when she captures something utterly terrifying. A creepy pale face can be seen in the corner of the room for a mere moment before suddenly disappearing. Many viewers stated that this explains the dog's strange behavior, as it could sense an ominous spirit in the room and felt threatened. After reviewing the footage for herself, Mildred is now trembling with fear, afraid to sleep in that room again.
This looks like she's got so much filth in this room, so much stocking up of random items. It looks like she's a hoarder or something. And she's probably just got somebody sleeping in her room that she forgot about. I don't know. This one didn't look that creepy to me. This one just looks like she's got a friend sleeping over and she raises her head up at a convenient time to be picked up on camera and then lays back down so you don't see her whenever the camera pans back a second time. Not saying that that's what happened. There's tons of situations where we pick up things on video that look like a human face, but it's just something playing a trick on our eye. So that's probably what's going on here. But I could definitely see that creeping somebody out and making them not want to sleep in that room again.
I'm sorry, but did this guy just record real little people? This video was posted by Selflection the other day, where he acquired the playback of this video from another user who was on a live. Now, this guy was walking up to a tree after seeing something strange in it, and what is in this footage is unbelievable. Check this out.
The spot. This the spot. Nah, come back out. Look, why they be peeking like that? Peeking. Alright, so look, let me know. I'm gonna let this stay. Just let me know if y'all think I should try to be friends with him. Maybe I'll come, some food or something.
Now, I'm not sure where this was exactly, or if it's even real or not, but there are people in the comments saying that these creatures are duendes or tree fairies. I'm not sure how you would edit a video during live unless it was a filter or maybe pre-recorded with CGI. Now, this is super interesting, although I'm not 100% convinced. Let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm 100% completely convinced that that was CGI, but I am curious how the guy pulled that off on a live stream. I'm sure he convinced a lot of people that was real just because it was on a live stream. But I don't ever live stream, so I don't know what kind of effects and stuff like that you're able to use, and if you could load in your own stuff. So I don't know how all that stuff works, but that's clearly faked. And the guy's reaction, if you would have walked up to a tree and you're on live stream and you saw actual people that were like this big hanging out and playing around in a tree, you're not just going to be like, oh, hey, what's up? Come back out here so I can see you. You're going to be freaking out. Especially the fact that you're on live stream, you're going to be able to be like, hey, look at this. I've got proof. Look at what I just found on video, and everybody can see it too. It's not just me.
Okay, so am I tripping? Or... Okay, so the noise is my turtle. And I'm home alone, right? But the reflection shows like that's me.
I don't have a clue how she pulled this off. That was really well done. That looks creepy as crap, and it looks like it could be legitimate footage captured of the reflection of something that's not truly there. I know that there's things that are taking place right now all around us that we can't see because our eyes are not able to pick up certain light frequencies or certain spectrums of light. So this is one that I want to believe. It's probably fake, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea of seeing things through reflection that aren't really there. It's just a really well done, creepy video.
You go to Whole Foods, for example, they just spray the meat pink. And this has happened to me many times. I remember when I used to buy meat from Whole Foods, the meat would be brown and rotten on the inside, and it would be pink on the outside. And that was because they sprayed it. They colored it so they could resell it. And I think it was White Oaks Pastures who talked about this. That like they stopped selling their meat at Whole Foods, and they were still selling meat under the name White Oak Pastures, even though he discontinued from having his meat in Whole Foods. And he was saying, this is crazy, that the meat that comes into Whole Foods could be coming from anywhere. They'll rewrite a name, put something else on there, and you think you're buying something from Whole Foods that's from this farm, but it's actually not even from that farm. So talk about a bait and switch right there. And then they charge you a premium. Let's say $20, $30 a pound, and you think you're getting grass-finished steaks. And then you find out that you're getting steaks from a farm that is munching on Monsanto's corn farm that just turned into grass. Support your local farmer and know where your food comes from. Go to the farmer's market, be aware of these things, and ask questions.
I don't know if there's any truth to this, that they spray the meat pink, but I used to work at a gas station and we sold ground beef, and we would have to grind it up ourselves and repackage it. And after it sits for 2 or 3 days, it starts to brown, and there's nothing wrong with the meat. It's not going bad or anything. It's just losing its oxygen, so it's losing that pink color. We would just take it out, mix a little fresh meat with it, and regrind it, and it would pop back to its pink color, and you could stick it back on the shelf. I would think that Whole Foods is likely doing something similar to keep the meat looking fresh, but I highly doubt they're spraying it with some pink paint stuff to try to make it look fresh. But who am I to say? We know they put stuff out to market all the time that's not really food, so who's to say?
Yeah, I'm amazed. God is kind of upset with me probably because I woke up and didn't say my prayers this morning, man, but I got woke up by this again in my face. What would you do? Look at this. Look at this. Look at that ball of light coming out of there. That's the sun. Coming out of what, though? Man, California ain't talking nothing about this. That's why I feel like I'm in a land of weirdos.
And that is far from the only example of the second suns being sighted. It seems like they are being spotted more and more with frequent regularity in the last couple years. But I think it's a sign of this cycle of our realm, as depicted in ancient times in petroglyphs in India, Arizona, and even excerpts from the sightings of it in the 1600s. And even after that, many newspapers historically reference this second sun, sometimes even more being sighted in the skies. Some say it's Nibiru, some say we're living in a binary system. Whatever it is, I think it shows once again, history most certainly repeats itself. Question everything, friends.
I just don't understand what's going on. I keep seeing these videos of there being two suns in the sky. I bet you I've seen 30 of them at this point from all over the world. This has got to be some Project Bluebeam testing or something.
The CEO of Bank of America, not a small bank, said they don't want cash, they want an all digital future. Here's the CEO of Bank of America.
We want a cashless society. It costs us $5 billion for checks and cash to move around our company.
You want a cashless society?
We have more to gain than anybody in a sense from a pure operating cost. So we're driving it, and the cost will come down, and everything's happening, and the costs are already very low. It's very efficient, very little fraud when you actually look at the volumes going through.
I'm going to buy some strawberries, and I'm offering exactly the right amount of money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.19, and I will take my strawberries outside. I pay by legal tender. No, don't break the door. Do not break the door. And I am going out with my strawberries. I pay by legal tender in this dystopian place.
Okay. Brilliant. So you have to split the yard, wouldn't it? Good. You should be able to spend wherever you want. This is an absolute joke.
You want one, mate?
Kudos to that guy for standing up for what's right and trying to maintain his freedoms. The most infuriating part of that video to me is all the employees in that store that were standing there telling this guy, you can't leave because you didn't use the approved payment system to pay for those strawberries. It's going to be a bunch of NPCs that go along with this crap that cost all the rest of us our freedoms. They want to do away with cash so that they can track every move you make. That's the only reason that they want to go to a cashless system. If you buy a piece of bubblegum with your debit card, they now have a record of that. It's all about control.
Hey, NASA employees are living in a simulation, and I have proof.
And even during simulations, it's not just an exercise. The simulations seem as real as the mission.
It's true, the director of NASA Mission Control makes sure that employees can't tell the difference between a simulation and the real mission. Pause and read his quote directly. It's understandable back in the Apollo days because all of Mission Control is just a bunch of data on the screens. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a simulation and a real mission if this is all I had besides this real footage. Fast forwarding to today, not much has changed. Just a bunch of data on the screens, and we got one view which they launched from Cape Canaveral toward the Bermuda Triangle. Then once the rocket gets to a certain height, it just turns into like a video game for Mission Control. During interviews of Mission Control, they really only show you just a little bit, but here's an interior shot of the ISS. I could take you there right now on Earth. There's a full mock-up of the International Space Station in Houston, Texas. Google Earth, Johnson Space Center. Click right there on Street View. It'll take you right inside of the International Space Station. Now look at this. I'm going to venture on through and show you a specific part that will really blow your mind, okay? I want you to look at these stickers, patches, and signatures on the wall. Now get a mental picture of this. Now look at this supposed tour of the ISS while in orbit. I want you to look. See those and the signatures? Now, let's get a close look at the two compared to each other. This is from inside the mock-up, and this is from the tour supposedly in orbit. Now compare the two. What? Well, what about exterior shots of the ISS? You can't fake that, they're in space. Well, check out the blue tint. I'll show you the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. Here is Mission Control at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, which is a giant Olympic swimming pool with an entire mock-up of the exterior of the International Space Station down under. Now they have a lot of scuba divers, a lot of cameras, a lot of green screens, and a lot of baloney happening right in this area. But they have a live ISS feed, and I track it with my phone. Does the live feed look something like this? Well, is this from the ISS or a weather balloon? It's a weather balloon with a GoPro lens. Now I agree something's up there, but I don't think it's 250 miles away, the size of a football field, and following the curvature of space-time. Check out my pinned video on unconventional propulsion systems if you want to know what I think it could be. Because when we see it, it's not much smaller than this. Remember, the truth is the truth, whether you believe it or not. A lie needs your permission and your participation to even exist. And the only one place that a lie can exist is in the minds of those who are foolish enough to believe it. Back to you, Mission Control.
We have men in simulations. They're in the simulator. They're not flying up to the moon. But we feel like they're real.
You feel like they're real, but do you think that the entire space program, as you view it in your work, has a sense of unreality to it?
I think the atmosphere you work in is a little bit unreal as far as the actual facilities are concerned. You're totally isolated. You're surrounded by machines. There are no windows in the buildings where you work. The lighting is always the same. You lose all track of time.
And if you still think those videos from the International Space Station are legitimate, wake up. You're being lied to. There's your proof right there. It's all being faked.
Did you know they used fluorescent lighting to stop kids from having ADHD tendencies?
90 days after, the regular cool white fluorescent tubes were replaced with the new type full spectrum fluorescent tubes with radiation shield.
They ran this experiment on a group of kids where they tested to see what was the actual cause of ADHD. But they didn't want to find out really the cause, but how to change it or stop it. So what they did is that they changed the lights inside the actual room and replaced it with fluorescent lighting. And turns out that light stopped the kids from having ADHD.
There was a marked improvement noted, and the extremely hyperactive boy has voluntarily moved up to the front row.
Artificial lighting has an actual effect. Bro, these are artificial lights right now. It has an actual effect on your behavior. There's this theory. You ever drove past the projects and they have that one NYPD fucking light? Yeah, apparently that light is there to mitigate crazy activity. Now, I don't know how true that is, but usually in the very poor areas in the projects, in Brooklyn and shit, Canarsie and shit, they be having a bunch of those.
So I didn't know about this, but I do know that certain lights have a negative impact on our eyes and our overall mental health, because I used to work in a nursing home as a maintenance supervisor, and I read an article one day about fluorescent lights and its negative effects, and our entire facility was full of fluorescent lights. So I went to our administrator and shared the article with her, and she actually gave me permission to go through and change out all the light bulbs in the entire facility. And I got several comments from the residents there saying that they enjoyed the new lights because it didn't hurt their eyes as bad and it made them less stressed out. So this is absolutely fascinating. The quality and type of light that you're sitting in every day has a tremendous effect on your mental health and well-being. It's something you would never really think about.
Earl John Brewer discovered this cave in Utah. It held all these ancient copper tablets that had weird inscriptions on them. But people just started okay, John Brewer, tell us where this is. He's like, I won't, because a couple of years before that was the Lovelock Cave incident, right? And that's where the Smithsonian came in. Yeah. All of a sudden, the bones disappeared. In fact, he told this man, one day I was walking to the cave, and all of a sudden there's three very tall men. They said, we want to show you our city. And so they brought John Brewer to this underground city, and John Brewer said it was the most technologically advanced civilization that he's ever seen. They were able to speak telepathically as well. They brought him out of the city, then they just disappeared, and then the entrance to their city disappeared too. It just went invisible. So people were like, you're full of crap. Yeah. But he said when he found these copper plates, they were wrapped in a bark material. He brought the bark to BYU, radiocarbon dated this bark. He said with a radiocarbon age of 5 BC to 390 BC, the bark is indeed ancient.
You know, if we had a large enough group of people, you could go to the area that this guy was in and just have people start searching and probably locate the entrance to this cave. Just like when there's a missing person and you have hundreds of people show up and go shoulder to shoulder through the woods looking for a missing child or somebody. We could do the same thing and move shoulder to shoulder through this landscape where this cave is supposedly at and probably find the entrance to it. I think that's what we need, is to go to some of these locations and get a large enough group of people together and start searching. Like that YouTuber that had that cave that he found, and he was going back to it to get some video from inside the cave, and no one ever heard from him again. If we got a large enough group of people together, we could probably not only locate the cave, but probably also locate that YouTuber and find his remains. If he's passed away, he could be underground living life to the fullest with this underground intelligent species from the past. Who knows? It's always fascinated me how we have these locations that we're aware of the general idea of where these things are. Then no one ever seems to find them. We need some sort of a group or a club of people or something to start going out and searching for these things.
You stopped paying your taxes. How long after you stopped paying your taxes did the IRS come after you and try to bring you to court? How long was that? A year, 2 years?
In 1994, they had me under criminal investigation for a year and a half. Then they found nothing on me. They came after me in 2003, 2009. They put over 600,000 on me. And after 2 years, I had beat them with the Irish Appeals Office and tax court agreeing with me. So I've been with them in court many times. And of course, the major media doesn't want to cover this stuff because as long as American people are blind, don't know what's going on, they'll be good little sheep slaves to support and fund this criminality in the federal government.
While I have tremendous amount of respect for this guy, I don't suggest that you try this because I don't think that it's going to work out as good for you as it does for him. But guys, that's the end of our clips for the day. But before you run off, I've got some mail to open. Our first package comes with a letter that says, "Hello, Barry. I'm David. I've been watching your content for a while now. You remind me a lot of myself when I started to do my own research around 2004. You asked for someone to give you some information about where to start studying the Bible. I put some information together for you that you will hopefully find useful. The first thing I sent you is a specific copy of the Bible. I recommend this particular edition for various reasons, which I address in the second item I sent. The second item is a flash drive. It has a document I wrote up for you. It covers various subjects like the Bible I sent you, vibrations, how to study the Bible, and so on. Just make sure to read the first page first. I'm not sure which word processor you use, but you can get a free one from this link. If you have problems, all in all, it's just about 28 pages. Ask God to show himself to you and he will. Keep up the good work." David sent me a flash drive in an envelope here and a copy of the King James Version of the Bible. I actually have a King James Version copy of the Bible that I read fairly regularly. I know that doesn't make sense, me not being religious, but I think the Bible's fascinating, and I think there's a lot of good life lessons in there, and so I read it for those purposes. I will say this. In the past, I would have gotten upset at someone for sending me a Bible if they knew that I was not a Christian. I would have had the mindset that they were trying to force their religious beliefs on me and convert me over to what they believe in. I've since grown as a human being and no longer have such a negative outlook on life, and I view someone giving me a Bible as a beautiful thing because they're trying to look out for my soul and help lead me in the right path, the path that they think is the right path to go down. And for that reason, David, thank you very much. I truly appreciate your gift, and it will be used. Secondly, we have a box from D. White. It comes with a letter that says, "To Barry, hey, my husband and I are fans of your channel. Interesting. Here are some Canadian treats. I would like to know if you liked any of it. Other Canadian viewers would know the No Name logo." From D. White. And let's see what all's in here. A massive beach towel. This will get a lot of use. It's summertime. I'm planning on getting a season pass for me and my kids to the local water park, so that'll get a lot of use. And they sent a whole box full of Canadian treats. Ketchup flavored Lay's potato chips, maple eclair Werther's Originals, hickory sticks, a different type of Smarties than what we have here in America, and a Nestle Aero peppermint chocolate bar, some cheesies, coffee crisp, that sounds delicious, and a Nestle Aero chocolate bar. Thank you very much. This will all get used. I will probably try all of this tonight with my kids and report back in tomorrow's video on what we liked and what we didn't care for. So watch tomorrow's video and I'll have your answer on whether or not I like Canadian treats. And lastly, we have from Anna and Josh, "Barry and family, please accept our small gift as a token of appreciation and support. We enclosed items for you, your wife, and the kids. Family love and support are blessings. I'm certain that the foundation of your family keeps your show moving forward. My fiance and I watch every episode and enjoy the content and delivery. When you do the lean in and say, hey, asking viewers to return for each episode, we crack up. We love it. Continue your great work. Sincerely, Anna and Josh." Anna and Josh sent me and my family a massive care package. There's no way for me to show you everything that's in there, or the video would be like 20 more minutes long, but they sent several geodes for me to crack open with the kids, tons of stickers from one of their favorite YouTubers, stickers of a little cartoon pig, which is adorable. My girls will get a lot of use out of those. They sent me some socks with some aliens on them, some wall art, a bunch of stickers, more wall art with Bigfoot on it, more stickers, and several little boxes of things that I'm not sure what's in there and won't know until I open it up, but not going to do that all in the video. They also sent a very loving letter that was for me to read off air, and I just want to say I did read that first, just like your package directed, and thank you very much. Once again, I'm blown away by my viewers and their amazing ability to send me things that I wouldn't have even known to look up on my own. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of all those treats, got a lot of use out of that beach towel, and I've got a ton more wall art now to add to my collection back here. So if there's anything that you feel like you need to see mounted on the wall behind me, you better hurry up and send it to me because I'm running out of space. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to go to www.barry-stepp.com and order yourself a shirt or a hat. It helps me support the channel, and I greatly appreciate everybody that's ordered one so far. All that being said, I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I hope everybody's having a great, safe, fantastic rest of your Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow.